Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking Business and Family. So on today's episode, we actually got a guy that has been with us before, back on episode 49, I believe, and is Jon Slaughter with Healthy Trucking of America. And we're going to visit with him because we have partnered up with Healthy Trucking of America, and we want to tell you all about it in the details, especially focusing on our owner-operators here and tell them what's going on and what they need to know. But before we get started, let's hear from our sponsor, Aero Truck Sales. Let's listen to one of Oakley's owner-operator experience with Aero Truck Sales.
Called Kenworth off of 440, called Peterbilt, called Freightliner. None of them wanted to work with me. So Jeremy Kellett got me over to Trey Visor. Me and him had a conversation. He sent me to Keith Wilson and never looked back from that point. I was upside down $29,000 and change. They paid off all but $5,000 of my loan on a blown truck. That right there said a lot to me. You know, they were willing to step outside of their comfort zone to get my deal done. I never felt like a customer. It was more like a family feeling. He took care of every aspect of the deal. He was completely transparent. There was no hidden nothing.
So if you're in the market for a used truck, you owe it to yourself to call Keith Wilson at Aero Truck Sales in Springfield, Missouri. Tell him you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. Okay, we're going to visit now with Jon Slaughter. He is a Healthy Trucking of America, and they go out of their way to try to make truck drivers healthy. And I tell you what, it is a program that I'm super proud of, that Oakley has just partnered with them. Ever since we had an episode back 49 with Jon came on and talked about it, it's been on my mind for a while. And we actually had one of our owner operators go through the program, and it's a success story, which we'll get to in a little while. But it made me think, we really need to talk to Healthy Trucking of America a little bit more detail and see if we can't do something about it. And Jon, he of course hit us up about partnering with Oakley, and I think was a great idea because here's really what made our decision to do it is the health of truck drivers and passing physicals, because we were having so many problems of owner operators having trouble passing physicals. It's just been an ongoing deal with either the ones coming in to lease on with Oakley having issues, or our guys getting recertified. And it's a challenge because sometimes it seems like the doctors are getting a little more stricter on some things. So we thought maybe if we partner with Healthy Trucking of America, then maybe we can help curb some of these problems. And I think it's going to be a success, and we've got Jon Slaughter. He's here to tell us all about it, and we're going to talk about it. Jon, what's going on today?
Thank goodness it's Friday.
Hallelujah.
I look forward to this day every single week.
Yeah, me too. We're a weekend warriors up here in Arkansas for sure. Yeah. Are you from Alabama?
From Montgomery, Alabama, absolutely, and that's where we're headquartered. And, of course, they say that a prophet is not popular in his own country, so we operate throughout the country.
Right.
And in all 48 of the lower states. Well, we're doing stuff in Alaska now, too, as well, and working a lot with the southern border, working with those NAFTA-type companies down there with their drivers.
So when we say Oakley Trucking has partnered with Healthy Trucking of America, explain that to our listeners, what that means.
Yeah. So for our listening audience, everything that we provide you is free of charge. That's number one. And the way we get our money, people are always like, well, how do you get paid? We get paid through grants that we write. We get paid through federal programs that subsidize this awareness campaigns and that kind of thing. And so when we're talking about the National Diabetes Prevention Program, that has been sponsored to Oakley for any of the drivers or anyone who wants to participate in that particular program. That was sponsored by the CDC. So our job is to bring that to our partnership. And what we ask of Oakley is let's get the message out to your drivers like we're doing today. And then we turn around and provide those free health coaches along with those other services that we provide, not only the drivers, but any of the employees.
Well, and that's that's really good to do it for not only drivers, but any of the employees too. That's a good offering. But, that's something that I think that is probably your biggest hurdle, because when somebody hears something's free, nothing's free. John, nothing's free, but we know it is. In this case, when the government is funding it, for you to go out and help these drivers get healthier, that's a big deal. And so Oakley owner-operators need to, I guess, volunteer or just get in touch with Healthy Trucking of America to what is the course?
The easiest thing to do is just pick up the phone, call 800-800-1198. You'll be directed to a health coach. You tell him, hey, I'm John with Oakley Trucking. They're going to go, great, welcome. And then they'll start laying out to you the different programs that are available to you and get you enrolled into those programs. You can call them and just say, hey, look, I'm not a diabetic, but I need to lose weight. And they'll say, great, let's put together a nutrition program for you. And they'll put together a nutrition program. We have exercise physiologists that can put together a fitness program for you. But when we're looking at drivers, their programs are focused and centered around a goal of their CDL license renewal. So if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, John, look, I'm obese. And by the way, obese means that you have a BMI of 28 or greater. Then what we did, they said, we got 6 months. We'll put together a pretty aggressive package for you that if you follow that package, that you'll be able to meet the weight requirements necessary to pass that CDL. And not only that, but a lot of times, Jeremy, people go in for these occupational exams and they can't get their blood pressure under control. They'll sit there and take it and it's just a little high, and the doctor will say, sit there another 30 minutes and they'll take it and it's a little high. And so a lot of the times our health coaches will encourage you, call me the day before, right? Because we're going to do a couple of things. For instance, we're going to get you to not smoke a cigarette for the whole day before, because that's a huge contributor to your blood pressure. Now, I know that's tough, but when you compare that towards keeping a job, I can do one day. Then we're going to turn around and get you to drink a lot of water. And so they kind of prep you before you go to that doctor's office, so that when you're in there, you've got your best opportunity to turn around and pass it. So that's free of charge. That's
awesome, because and they need that. We see that all the time, exactly what you're talking about, the blood pressure being high and not preparing for, to go take that physical ahead of time. They think they just go in there and get it done, and it's not the case. You got to prepare. So these coaches that you have, so when somebody signs up with you, once again, it's free, but when they sign up, and you say you provide them a coach and the material, is that like a weekly phone call, or
it's really whatever you want it to be?
Okay.
So when you're just talking about dealing with your health coach, they're to support you. They're the ones that you say, hey, look, I need to be able to figure out some way to do some exercises when I'm out at Love's Truck Stop or TA Travel Centers or something like that. And they'll say, hey, look, Jeremy, let me go ahead and get this over to you on your email, and you'll have some of those programs you can do. If you enroll into the National Diabetes Prevention Program, this is someone that's going to help you make your way through that program. And it's not hard. I mean, you can sit in your truck and do it on your telephone. And it's just going to kind of make you aware of some better choices that you can make. And then we also have a podcast that goes along with every single one of those episodes that you can listen to while you're driving in the truck. But also, that health coach will check in with you to see, are you weighing in? Have you drank this much water? And encourage you. And oftentimes, we deal with a lot of clinical depression, Jeremy. So these health coaches, we tell them, call us. Let us talk with you. We're a faceless person. Everything we do is in confidence. And so you can literally just kind of get past that, what I call FOFO, fear of finding out problem. And you can share with them, look, I've got these kinds of problems. What do I do? They'll talk with you about it.
So you mentioned other forms. I actually was looking at this Radio Nemo that were you on that this morning?
I was on there Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so you heard a rebroadcast probably.
Yeah, I was listening to it because you partnered up with Dave Nemo, or what's the story there?
Yeah, so we sponsor the Highway to Health series that's on every Tuesday from 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so we bring in people from HHS, from the CDC, from all these different, like for instance, we found a wonderful writer out in California whose dad was a truck driver. And she became a health coach because her dad was in such bad shape. And so she coached her dad and got him to get in better health, and did that because she loved him. And so she wrote us an article about it. And so she was on there talking about that. So we try to bring people in that are in the trucking industry or have some relationship with it, talking about health-related issues.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I listened to part of it this morning. It was really good. Dave
does a great job.
Oh, yeah, he does a great job. And, of course, you do, too, going on there and explaining it. But, to do it, dial down a little bit deeper with exactly what this program is and what Oakley and why we teamed up with you is, of course, to help our guys get healthier, and all drivers, but ours specifically. We had one do this. When we did this episode 49, we had one of our owner-operators, John Haley, go through this program. And so I've talked to him off and on some, but I called him just to get a little bit more detail from him on what his experience was with this Healthy Trucking of America. So he is 62 years old. He did this, I guess it was last year.
Yeah.
Because he did it right after, we recorded that episode. And he just, he bragged on this process because he says, it's easy. He said it's easy. If you just do what you're supposed to do. He said there's not really any major exercising. There's no food prepping. Nothing that you got to go through all these major steps to get done. But he said he had to set up an app on his phone.
That was easy. And the health coach will help you with that.
Yeah, that helped him with that. Y'all sent him a scale to weigh himself every day, which he could do that. And he said he got a weekly call from I forgot the lady's name.
Akua.
Yeah. He said, and said she was very knowledgeable. And he he said he was 200, he was 205 pounds, and now he's 175 pounds. And he said it made, I have more energy, my knees feel better. I just got a 2-year physical. He said he was at home and he got a load of stone, at his house, and he said he moved stone all day. He did like 11 miles with a wheelbarrow of stones.
Yeah.
One day he was, he just feels so much better, and he says it was easy to do, and he recognized that.
And it's kind of like this, he was a great success story. I was talking to Akua about him prior to this broadcast, and she just loves him. And I think they even still communicate. She'll call and check on him every once in a while. But the thing is, you made a very good comment. This doesn't have to be a big, expensive thing. And this is what I tell people, and is, just break out a pair of tennis shoes. Don't go join a gym. Just walk around the block when you're home, or walk around your truck, park a little further out. Just push yourself a little bit. But don't go out and spend any money on this. Choose better. We know what it is. When I go into these places and I'm in the South, and barbecue is just like, it's just something we eat all the time. And I love barbecue. And I go to different places and find out who's got the best barbecue. It's kind of like a sport down here. But I can't eat it all the time, Jeremy. I'm 57 years old, and I've gotten to where now I've got to go like once a quarter I go. And it's tough and it's hard, but you have to do it. And let me tell you, the other side of that is that as you eat healthier, like you were saying, you get a lot more energy. And you don't find yourself nodding when you're driving. You don't have those sugar highs and sugar lows, which cause it to be dangerous. And we're seeing, you were talking about people having trouble passing their CDL physical. We're finding now that 40% of the people that go in there to get that CDL physical are failing. That the schools are sending people out who can't pass the physical. And so we're now starting to work with more schools and that kind of thing. CRST is with their group out in Riverside, California, and others, where we're educating them. The average lifespan of a driver is 57 years old. That's the average lifespan. And so when you take this job, it's too young. There's too much to live for.
Yeah.
And so it's really important. And so we're giving you this. We speak truckerese. We understand your schedule. We know what you're under. We know your pressures. And not getting that 2-year physical, that 2-year license approved, that's stressful because you're worried about what about after 6 months? What happens?
Very good, John. Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Lube Zone. You've been hearing me talk about Lube Zone for a couple of years now. Well, now it's time you hear from one of our owner-operators. Listen to Mike Durbin talk about his experience with Lube Zone.
The price is great. The service is great. From the time when I pulled in the door to the time I pulled out was less than an hour. Best I've ever had as far as an owner-operator, had my oil change. Checked the oil. They showed me the oil. They did all the portion on the wrenches. Showed me my rear end oil on the paper, and they did their job. It was very nice to go somewhere, get what you wanted done, and go. I was very pleased with it. And like I said, very satisfied. I will go out of my way from now on to go there.
Check out lubezone.com for all their services and all their locations, and tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. Hey, John, also, if you would, quit hitting your desk. I know you're getting excited.
Am I doing that? That's the preacher in me, I'm like, come on.
I can tell. No, that's all right. I just kept hearing you hit your desk, and I was like, oh, he fixing to come out of that chair, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I've done it before, too, now.
Yeah, get to preaching.
Yeah.
Well, it's all, it's we all know, and we all ignore the signs. Especially men, we're very stubborn, and myself know I need to get in better shape, but what am I doing every day to change that? And it's, it's something that you, like John said, you gotta change it's a little tough, but once you get in the habit of it and you start seeing results and you feel much better, well, man, that makes a world. Then you really want to keep going. It's just that first initial, 2 months, John? Maybe?
We
Even
found
that?
really 2 weeks.
2 weeks, nice.
If you can just get past the 2-week mark, then there's about a 50% chance you're going to move on to another 2 weeks. So you really want to just kind of be dedicated and do that. And I love the comment that you made about men. It is true. They're a medical anomaly when it comes to healthcare. And I'll tell you my story. I was the same way. I never went to the doctor. If I literally grew up, if your arm was cut off and you were still bleeding, then you go to the doctor. Otherwise we would have just stumped you up and said, go back to work. And so I ignored all of my examinations. I didn't go in. Well, I had 2 strokes in 2019.
Oh, no.
And they found out I have high cholesterol, heart conditions. I had a little bit of a liver issue, diabetes, type 2. I was a wreck. And then COVID came in. And so I've now just gotten clear to start exercising and that kind of thing from my cardiologist that I meet with and from my gastroenterologist that I meet with and from all the other doctors that I have to now put up with. I take 14 medications in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
I take 6 before I go to bed because I had FOFO, fear of finding out. And so, but I got medically cleared. And so I am a competitive person, Jeremy. And so we're actually putting together a challenge that I'm going to do with all your Oakley drivers. And I've got prizes I'm putting behind it. And I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to video my entire experience. We've hired a video firm to start working on it. So we'll be posting these videos. And it's kind of Jon's challenge. And we're going to be giving away some wheels for their truck. We're going to be giving away all kinds of things. If they sign up to the Shift Into program like we put into you, Shift Into Better Health, they'll get a T-shirt and a hat. We'll send them a scale. And I've got Fitbit looking like they're coming in to be a sponsor as well. And everybody will get a Fitbit. But
That's
it's Jon's challenge.
That's great that you're going to do that. I mean, you recognize
I'm doing it myself. Yep.
I know it. I need to join you on that. I need to get in shape too.
That'd be
myself.
great.
Yeah.
And one of the things, Jeremy, I'd like to do is maybe look at a charity in your local area or someone that Oakley supports. And then we'll put some money behind it. And if everybody loses a certain amount of weight, then we'll turn around and make a charitable contribution. So I like competition. I'm a big competitor. You see my University of Alabama Roll Tide on. So I'm looking forward to taking on everybody at Oakley. And I don't think they can beat me. But, I mean, I don't know. You know, you boys from Arkansas and everything, y'all may do all kinds of stuff.
Hey, we can get mean now. We get down to the trenches.
I hear you. We call it getting in the paint. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So what's the best thing for Oakley owner-operator that's listening right now? What does he need to go? I know one thing, we did send an email, a letter out to all of them explaining how to do it, but just so they didn't get the email, we're going to send it again. We'll be sending another email to all our owner-operators explaining what we're doing. But what do they need to do? They need to go to shiftintobetterhealth.com.
Yeah, and just fill out that form on there. And then what'll happen is a health coach will contact them, or they could turn around and call 800-800-1198, and then a health coach will be assigned to them at that point. Once they sign up for the Shift Into Better Health, then they'll get their scale, and then I'll turn around and we'll be sending them a workout T-shirt. So we are going to ask your size, so be real about it. And we're going to send them out a challenge, Jon's challenge packet, and that'll be coming out. We'll have the Fitbits and that kind of thing in August, but everybody who signs up right now will be getting one. And so we're really going to take on everybody and start measuring this. And I want to challenge all the folks inside that corporate office as well, secretaries, loaders, mechanics, everybody. So we're going to have a prize program for everybody.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we need to get it out to all the employees because I don't think we've done that yet. So we'll try to get that information out to all the employees, too, so they can participate.
Yeah, we've got Hightower will have a packet out there for you guys on media at some point. Right after Walcott, we're going to Walcott Truckers Jamboree next week. So I'm going to get my pork chop sandwiches in before I start this thing, to be honest with you. My popcorn.
I knew there was ulterior motive there.
There's an ulterior motive. But as soon as we get back, you guys will be getting a media packet. Y'all can get that out. But everybody who signs up, go ahead and get in. And we'll take the whole company if we need to.
Okay, and anybody just need to go to that website and fill out that information, shiftintobetterhealth.com. Fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
John, thank you for coming on and doing this, man, and partnering up with Oakley so we can make our truck drivers and our employees healthier. It means a lot, and it's free, and that really means a lot to a lot of people because I like the part you said, don't go join a gym. You ain't got to do all this. It's a lot simpler than that. Don't make it.
It is.
Don't make it too complicated. It's a lot what goes in is what makes a big difference. So, all right, man. Well, thank you much. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, just that I really encourage you to do it. If you ever heard about getting something really for free that was really good, this is it. And just know we work real hard to get these funds for you and take advantage of it because it's all for you. And honestly, take a little bit of advice from your local driver there that had such a great success. It really makes a difference in their life. And that is how we measure our success, is how much we've impacted you guys. So we're looking forward to it. But also, I'm planning on that big challenge, so I'm not going to be fooling around. Okay, we're going to be on.
And get serious.
Yep, we're going to get serious. We're posting some numbers. Okay, there's going to be a lot of stuff going back and forth, and but we're looking forward to doing that.
All right, looking forward to it, Jon. Thank you much for joining me today. Hey, listeners, everybody out there, I appreciate y'all listening to the Oakley Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, comment, like on all your social media outlets. Spread the word about Oakley Trucking. And if you're interested in leasing on with us, you got questions about Oakley Trucking, give us a call. We'll put the number up. Y'all can always check us out on all the social media platforms, and we sure appreciate you listening. We'll talk to you next week.